There's two things that affect height of cut, the frequency of clip. The lower the height of cut, the more blades you're going to require. Greens mowers have 11 blades. Fairway mowers have 5 blades. The higher height of cut, the less are required. The frequency of clip should equal the height of cut. If it doesn't, your grass will look very bad. It's going to be wavy. You get what they call marcelling. It comes because the frequency of clip is incorrect. Two negative effects. Frequency of clip, if it's too slow, you're going to get marcelling. That's that wavy look that you see in the grass. If it's too fast, you're going to overstress the grass. When you go back, that rake angle and the bed knife actually sits behind the center of the reel, and that reel actually reaches down into the grass, pulls the grass up a little bit, and then cuts it. If I'm traveling too slow, if the operator is just inching along real slow, your reel blade is going to turn really fast. And that rake angle, that reel will reach down in and pull the grass in, but it won't cut it. So it reaches in again and pulls it in again. And what's going to happen is it beats the grass. And when it does it, it bruises it. And that bruising overstresses it. It's going to leave you with stripes. It looks burnt, and a couple hours later, it's going to turn brown. So if your frequency of clip is wrong because the operator is traveling too slow, reels are turning too fast, or the operator is running with the RPM set too low on the machine, he's not running full throttle, you're going to have an overstressed situation. It's also going to accelerate the component wear. Because the reel's turning way too fast for what you're mowing, you're just wearing the reel and the bed knife out because they're just not really doing anything. This is some picture of marcelling. Marcelling is actually, it's washboard or rippling effect, and the grass will look like this. And the reason is you got this pyramid. And if I'm trying to go too fast with my ground speed, instead of grabbing this much grass, I'm trying to grab this much. And it's going to grab the grass, stands it in a pyramid. If I'm trying to grab too much in that pyramid, these grass lengths will be a lot longer than the center one, and it's going to leave your grass uneven. So that's your marcelling. One thing that different people play with a lot is bed knife attitude. And bed knife attitude is the angle of your bed knife. You want your bed knife to be somewhere between flat and slightly tilted down. If your bed knife, when you adjust it, is tilted up, then the back of that bed knife is going to drag through the ground. It takes more horsepower to move the reel if the back of the bed knife is dragging than if it's up in the air. And so it just takes more energy. The other thing that it'll do is if it's tilted down, it's dragging an uncut grass, it's going to lift the reel up, and it's going to change my effective height of cut. And so you never want the back of the bed knife down. It's always going to be level or slightly up. If it's level, you're going to get better quality of cut. It's going to have a better stripe because this much of the bed knife will drag on the grass. It causes the grass to lean, direction of travel, and it gives you that striping effect that we're looking for. It reduces scuffing. You get a more accurate height of cut because we're actually going level and the grass just it's cut better. This line right here is actually the center line in your reel. Your bed knife doesn't sit right underneath that reel itself. The reason why it's back is because we want the reel to actually reach down in the grass and lift it up. And there's a lot of different people have played with what this distance is. And I'm going to just click forward once because it shows a different one. Right now, the last one was at 0.78. That reel, which is smaller reels for John Deere, it reaches 0.787 inch or millimeter down into the grass, lifts the grass up, stands it up, and then cuts it. Their ESP, which is their heavy cutting units on their fairway mowers, they reach 1.02 millimeters into the grass, lift the grass up, and then cut it. If you adjust your reels to where the rear roller is set really high and you lift the back of this reel blade up and it changes that attack angle dramatically, what it's going to do is move this blade backwards. And the more you move the rear of the blade, the larger this distance is going to be. And the more I move that, the larger this number gets, the larger this number will be. And if that number gets too big and your frequency of clip is not perfect, you're going to start seeing bruising of the grass. And your grass will look brown. You can't figure out, why is my grass brown? I've played with my frequency of clip. I've made sure everything was sharp. And I still have brown looking grass. You want to check to see, is this bed knife flat or is it tilted up too much?